I've been tagged by Badbrainprep to discuss ways to prep on a budget. I've taken forever to do this video because I had a hard time deciding what to do the video on because there are just so many ways that you can save. So I'm going to stick with what I think is most important. I think the best way to prep on a budget is to preserve your own foods, and to do that you need three basic pieces of equipment. You need a water bath canner, a pressure canner, and a dehydrator. The water bath canner is used to can fruits, tomatoes, pickles, jellies, things of that sort. Things that are considered high acid foods. Even if you don't want a can, I recommend buying one of these pots because you're going to need a large pot to boil water in. You might as well make it a dual purpose thing and get yourself a water bath canner. This is a pressure canner. You need a pressure canner to can meats and vegetables, what are considered low acid foods. My mother gave me this pressure canner for Christmas when I was 20 years old. And that's over 30 years ago, and I have canned thousands of jars of food in this pot. They are made to last a lifetime. I know a lot of people are afraid of these things. They hear stories about them blowing up and all. 30 years and I'm still in one piece. As far as recommending one brand over another, I can't tell you. This is the only one I've ever used. It's made by Miro, M-I-R-R-O. I replaced the gasket last year in it for the first time, and I easily found the replacement gasket. So you might want to consider buying from a company that has been around for a long time so that you can buy replacement parts. There are two types of pressure canners. Mine has the weighted gauge on the top. There's another type that has a dial. Now I do know that people with the dial type canners, you have to babysit those pots to make sure that the pressure stays at the proper level, and people get tired of that and they generally end up switching to the weighted gauge. So you might want to start there and avoid yourself that problem. You can buy a canner from Walmart for $68. It will quickly pay for itself in the money you save on canning meats, and you'll be eating better in the process. This is my dehydrator. With a dehydrator you can preserve foods to last over a long term. They say they'll last up to 30 years. I don't know, I haven't been doing it that long, but I have been dehydrating for 2 years and everything's holding up fine. The one I have is a Nesco Snack Master. You can buy them at Bed Bath & Beyond for $60. Go in there with a 20% off coupon. It only costs you $48. Now, if you really can't afford a dehydrator, basically all they are is a box that air will flow through. It has a source of heat and a fan in it. I've had an idea for a long time that I could make a dehydrator from a metal 2-drawer filing cabinet, put a couple 100-watt light bulbs in it and a fan, and you're good to go. You need the heat to be 135 degrees. So if you have those things lying around, you could probably build one for yourself. It might turn out to be better than anything you could buy. The Nesco comes with 4 trays, and you can buy additional trays and stack them 12 high. All 3 of these pieces of equipment combined will cost you less than $150. You will quickly get that money back in the savings from being able to preserve your own food, especially with the meats. I can't stress that enough, that you really need to can your own meats. Now, one thing that you will need are jars, a lot of jars. So I'm going to show you a few ways that you can cut down on the number of jars that you'll need. One way that you can save on jars is to combine foods that you normally use together into one jar. I used to can carrots and potatoes separately, and then it occurred to me that I'm always cooking them together. I might as well can them together. The beauty in doing it this way is that you use half as many jars, half as many lids, and you run half as many canner loads, saving energy. If you do this, you just use the processing time for the vegetable that needs the longest processing time. In this case, I believe potatoes are the longest, so I have to process them for the time required for potatoes. Another way that you can save on jars is to dehydrate the food rather than can it. In this jar, I have about half a pound of carrots. In this jar, I have 10 pounds of carrots. When you dehydrate them, it takes all the moisture out and shrinks them down to a little size. It saves you on storage containers and on storage space. So if to can 10 pounds of carrots, you would need 20 jars, whereas to dehydrate it, you only need one. So that can be a significant savings, and the jar savings will pay for a dehydrator quickly. Another way that you can save on jars is by actually saving jars. If you buy things like store-bought spaghetti sauce or store-bought applesauce, buy it in the jar rather than the can, because you can save that jar. I can my own foods, but if I find spaghetti sauce on sale for $1 a jar, I'll buy that spaghetti sauce because that jar is worth 75 cents to me. So in my mind, the spaghetti sauce is a quarter. Same thing with applesauce. Now, you can't can in these jars, but you can vacuum seal food in these jars, and I'll show you how. Now, here's one of the spaghetti jars. I put some beans in it to show you how this will work. You can buy a canister that's meant to work with the food saver. I think they designed this to vacuum seal your staples like flour and sugar and all in. It comes in a set of 3, but the big one is the one you really want. Even if you don't have a food saver, you can use this with a regular vacuum cleaner hose. You just put the vacuum cleaner hose over this hole and pull a vacuum, and it works just fine. I'll show you how this works. Now, the jars you use need to be the button type and have a rubber ring inside. You just put the lid on the jar very loosely. You want to keep it loose so that the air will pull out of the jar. Put it in the canister. Now, I don't have my vacuum cleaner out here, so I'll just show you how it works with the food saver. But you trust me, you can put a vacuum cleaner hose over this hole and pull a vacuum in there. I turned the volume down because that vacuum sealer was loud. I think I paid $20 for this canister set at Bed Bath & Beyond. Again, save those 20% off coupons. Just push this button to release the vacuum. Take the lid off. And that lid is sealed. It's vacuum sealed. And this also works with the regular mason type jars. Just put the lid on loosely so that you can pull air from under it, and when the air rushes back into the canister, it pushes the lid down and it'll seal. So that's some of my ways to prep on a budget. Now, I'm supposed to tag 5 people, and that's another thing I had a problem with. I've been going through other people's videos and trying to decide who to tag, and what I've decided to do is I'm going to tag everybody that's watching this video. I challenge you to come up with a video response with just at least one money-saving idea. If you don't have a camera, I understand that too. You can leave a comment below, and if you don't have enough space to type it all out in the comment box, just hit post and then reply to your own comment till you get it all in there. People are really struggling out there, and any ideas you have, I'm sure they would appreciate it. I'm going to send this as a video response to Bad Brain. You could send your videos to Bad Brain or video response to this one, whichever would be fine. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of your ideas, and I hope you found these helpful.